V.
So, once again, this has been a recurring problem for me. At least once, if not 2 or 3 times, I pass on war. No, battle. Was the word battle?
Battle, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, pass. And war, battle. It's like, why didn't I say that? So I just basically gave 10 points.
It's a hard game. You only got like 5 seconds to make a decision.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's not hard for little B. She's 20 games over 500.
Yeah,
Hello.
the GOAT.
So anyway, and we're behind. Max and I are behind again. Where are we at? We're behind
Maybe
by a
she's
lot,
20
right?
games above 500 because she gets to play against you most of the time.
Wow.
Wow.
Yikes.
Wow, a little below the belt there, huh?
Anyway,
All right.
What kind of car are you driving? I'm just going to slash the tires.
That's my quarterback you're talking about, Tenna B. That's my quarterback.
I'm just going to slash the tires on his car. That's all, man.
Give him the Common Man book while you're at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're on the verge of being another game under 500 because you and Max, who's given the minimum, is losing 48 to 27 right now.
Give him the minimum.
Get it, Max? Minimum? Yeah. Lil B and Audra.
I'm trying hard.
Audra on the verge of being 800.
Oh my God.
4-1 if she wins this one.
I thought she was only like 25.
No. Oh, thank you.
You got to break this team up next time, man.
Yeah,
It's
let's do-
I didn't realize it when I
break
scheduled
up
it
the
today.
Yankees. Break, whatever team you just can't beat them.
Nah.
You might have to break this team up.
They might be, dream team. 48-27, Lil B and Audra with lead, or you could break them up by winning today.
Wow, that's true.
Oh,
That's true.
Let's do it.
Make the comeback. Lil B, by the way, you can watch the second half of Program Password at KFAN.com/watch. Lil B and Max, take a look at the iPad. The password is fly. All right, Max, the comeback starts now. You're down 21 points. You've got the option. You want to go first or second?
We're going to go first.
Okay.
All right,
on now.
Max and Common for 10.
Sore.
Wound.
Lil B and Audra for 9.
Bug. Fly.
I didn't even think
Sore,
about
the other
sore.
sore.
I didn't until I said it. I didn't.
You said sore. That's the first word that came to me.
I was going to say sore too, but I didn't think that somebody
Yeah,
could think it thought
sore,
it was something
S-O-R-E.
else. Yeah, that's
semantics.
tricky.
Aren't you glad you don't have me as a partner? Why did I go with that? Why
I
did
almost just
say
ma
fly?
bug noise, but I didn't. I didn't know if I could do that.
I don't think.
With Common, you just, I don't know if you could say Gad, because Gad's not a word, but it's part of Gadfly.
Gad, it is a last name though, so you could do it.
Is it?
Yeah, Josh Gad. He's
Who's
the guy.
Josh
Oh,
Gad?
yeah.
He's
Frozen guy.
He's Count Olaf, or not
Yeah.
Count Olaf. That's the guy from the other thing.
I think
Olaf.
just
the Soul.
Olaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's a 30-point lead for Lil B and Audra. They lead 57 to 27. Common and Audra, take a look at the iPad.
Come on now.
The password is plant. All right, Common, you're down 30. Flip that over there, Audra.
Comeback starts now, baby.
Common, you're down 30. You need to get those Band-Aids back out that you had earlier. You need to stop the bleeding. You've got the option. You want to go first or second?
I'm going to go second.
All right, Audra and Lil B for 10.
Garden.
Soil.
Common and Max for 9.
House.
Class.
That was a terrible clue. Sorry.
Audra and Lil B for 8.
Chrysanthemum.
Flowers.
Common and Max for 7.
Seed.
Plant.
Yeah.
I had plant last time. I was going to say plant the first time, but house kind of threw me off a little bit.
House plant.
Yeah. Oh, house plant. Okay.
Audra, what did you say?
I said chrysanthemum because I
What the-
couldn't
what is
think
that?
of, it's a type
my
of, it's
cousin's
like
name.
a flower. I was trying to think of a word
plant,
of a
right.
plant.
Really?
Yep.
And that was the only thing that came into my head.
Sounds
at
like
that
you made it
moment.
up.
When I was about to say power, like power plant, that would have been just as bad as house. You'd be going, what is he
That's
doing?
all right.
I had planned. It's okay. We got there.
If I had said
Give him that one.
marijuana, would you have said planks? I was
Maybe,
thinking,
yeah, I
but I don't know
might
if you
have,
said
yeah.
planks.
I would have said where?
You might have said weed or dope or something like
Or
that.
bonus's dog.
Yeah,
That's
right,
2 words.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Common and Max, you stop the bleeding temporarily here. It's 57-34. Lil B and Max, take a look at the iPad. The password is Cub. All right, Max, you have the option. You can make this thing interesting here. If you can get the points here, you're down 23 points. What do you want to do, first or second?
Gotta go second.
All right, Lil B and Audra for 10.
Scouts. Girl? Scouts?
Max and Common for 9.
Lion.
Den.
Lil B and Audra for 8.
Bear.
Cub?
Oh, you got it.
I knew it was Cub. I knew it was Cub, too. I knew it was Cub at that
I
point.
almost said grocery. Would you have got it if I said grocery? No.
Chicago?
God, I thought you was going to miss that because I knew it was Cub at that point.
Just got it in. Buzzer beater there for Audra.
How many was that, Tada?
That was for 8.
Does that make up for chrysanthemum?
Yes. Yeah, don't say that to me again.
All right, it's 65-34. Lil B and Audra, you are 15 points away from victory.
Dry up in here.
Common and Audra. It's very dry in here. Take a look at the iPad. The password is Cape. All right, flip that over there, Audra. Common, you're down 31 points now.
We're going to go first.
All right, let's do
But he
it.
sounds confident. Common and Max for 10.
Canaveral.
Cape.
That one. Good.
Superhero math.
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, that's Max in the comment, man. Making a comeback. Woo!
We needed that desperate.
Yeah, we did.
65-44. You're still down 21 points. Audra and Lil B still 15 away from a victory. Lil B and Max. Take a look at the iPad. The password is plug. All right, Max, once again, you can make this interesting here. You've got the option, down 21. You want to go first or second?
We're going to go first.
All right, Max and Common, who's now on the edge of a seat, for 10.
Socket.
Plug.
Come on! We cooking!
Come on.
Is that Gordon Ramsay over there? Because we cooking!
We're cooking now. Guy Fieri.
Yes, sir!
It's an 11-point game all of a sudden.
Yes,
65-54.
back.
Lil B and Audra clinging to a lead. Common and Audra, take a look at the iPad. The password is Buddy. All right, Common, 11-point deficit. You can make this a 1-point game here. You got the option. You want to go first or second?
We'll go first.
All right, Common and Max for 10.
Pal.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Yes! Come on! Yes! Come on! We hide! You feel it! I know you feel that!
If I'd have been playing with Rosen, I would have said Ebsen. Because he would know Buddy Ebsen from the Beverly Hillbillies. Nobody else would. You wouldn't have known that.
No, I had no idea.
Not friend.
I was waiting
not-
for you to go Holly.
Yeah.
Buddy Holly.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought about that too.
But
No, 'cause
then-
when I hosted
Buddy
a couple
the Elf.
weeks ago, I had pal
Oh, did
as
you?
the word, and in my head, I always play the game when I come up with the words, and buddy is the word I would have used. So I know we're on the same wavelength. So, woo.
And now we got ourselves a game.
Yes, sir. We back.
It's a 1-point game. Lil B and Audra lead 65-64. Lil B and Max.
If we get a 16-pointer here, we win.
Yes.
Right? Oh wait, there aren't no 16.
All we need is a touchdown, 2-point conversion. Touchdown, 2-point conversion.
Lil B and Max, take a look at the iPad. The password is tag. All right, Max, down a point. You can take the lead for the first time since the back to the third clue of the game. You're down 1. You have the option. You want to go first or second?
We'll go second.
All right, Lil B and Audra for 10.
Label. Maker.
No.
Max
that's not
and
it.
Common for 9 in the lead.
Price.
Tag.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Hootie.
Holla,
Holla at us. Call 800. We hot, baby. You go hear the voice of the common man and Max Fuller.
We're on fire.
This is a 39-0 run for Common and Max.
Historic.
All of a sudden, they have the lead for the first time since they were up 17-10.
Woof.
And
Is
they
it
are
February? Because I'm making Black History, baby. Let's go.
Common and Max, you need 7 points or more for a win. Lil B and Audra, you are at 65. You're still 15 points away. Common and Audra, take a look at the iPad. The password is juice. Hold on, they gave you the wrong password.
Which one is it?
Yeah, they gave you the first one they gave you was going to be the following one.
Okay.
So the one that's on your iPad now, and then we'll just skip that one next time.
Okay, so the one that's on there now.
The one that's on the iPad now is the one you want.
Okay.
Audra, you're down 8, so you guys haven't had to make a lot of decisions in this game because you've been leading for most of the time. All of a sudden, decision time for you. You have the option. You want to go first or second? And flip that over, please.
Yeah.
Flip that over. Thank you.
Oh my God, I feel like I have to go first. But
Well, that's never good when you say that. Audra and Lil B for 10.
orange.
Apple.
Common and Max for 9 and the win.
Nectar.
Juice.
They were
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Another one.
The Drip Brothers are dripping orange
Yes.
juice. Lap it up.
We haven't seen juice this loose since the 90s.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah. I was dreaming when I wrote this. So sue me if I go to it.
What is that? What did we end on?
39 and 9?
Oh.
So how many is that?
You were down 65-34. You won 82-65. So that was a 48-0 run.
I should have said juice. I should have said
Did
it.
you think about it?
Oh.
No, I didn't. Because your inflection, I was like, okay, is it supposed to be something opposite? So that's why I did that. I should have just said juice.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wow.
That was a clue I was going to give. That's the only clue you can give
Yeah.
if it's orange.
Yeah.
You're not going to say carrot. You're not going to say something that's orange. You just
Nectar was so
Well, it's
good.
juice, yeah.
Yeah,
So
nectar's
good.
really good.
And we're drinking that nectar of the gods,
Nectar of the
baby.
gods.
We immortal.
I'd like somebody to feed me just little pieces of orange like they do grapes.
How great would that be?
By the way, thanks to Zach and Nick for helping out with the web stream, KFAN.com/watch.
Yes,
the goats.
I'm seeing the numbers. I think it's a record amount of numbers we've had
No
for
way.
viewers
No
watching
way.
right now.
Really?
Well, maybe, at least for regular season edition. It seems very high to me.
Zecco.
Seems very high to me. So
Good.
thank you to them for their
Thank
help.
you.
The Drip Brothers are box office when we get together, baby. Come on now. Marvel wishes they had the numbers the Drip Brothers got. We back.
I'm exhausted too.
I know, same. That's all I had. If we would have got that one wrong.
That's it. We get that one wrong. I
Yeah,
was
we just
done. I was
waved the
spent.
white flag. We don't have to worry about that.
Sucked. I'm sorry.
It's
what's-
fine.
So, Audra, what's your next assignment now after this?
Are you up late tomorrow night? You get to work late?
Yeah.
9 o'clock start?
9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, those are nothing like getting home from work at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, man.
Who are they playing tomorrow?
San Jose.
San Jose.
Oh,
Do you know the way?
Yeah, beat me to it. Do you know the way to San Jose? So you've got that,
Yeah.
and then
And then they play on Sunday. I won't be there on Sunday. And then what is it? Tuesday, Edmonton. So those are two.
Back home?
Yeah.
I thought Wednesday was a home game.
Or is it Wednesday? Whatever.
I think
day
it's
it is.
Wednesday. I'm trying
Yeah,
to get tickets for that game.
The Connor McDavid one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Connor McDavid.
Is overrated.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
can get
myself
in on that.
to that
Okay.
game. Deuce wants to go. Deuce is
overrated.
doing Deuce does the camera work at the Lincoln Stars game. That's one of those, I guess it's AAA. What do they call it, Tenemy? USA
USHL. Juniors.
USHL, right? Juniors. So he does the camera thing like that. So he's grown to like hockey. So
Yeah,
before
the
he goes
Edmonton
back-
game is Wednesday. So the
Wednesday.
2 days off after.
So before he
hopefully
goes
we get some
back, we
guys
wanna
back
get
by
them.
then.
Yeah,
I
that'd
gotta
be
go
nice.
through the ticket portal. Is that
Yeah,
what
did
you're
you click on the link?
telling me? I don't know how to get to the link. Tenemy, tell me what you have to
Abbott
have me
sent
do.
you the
yet.
link.
What did you have to do for me yesterday, Tenemy?
Well, I love how, because Lil B was in her office.
Yeah, I heard it. That's why I didn't come out.
And I love how you've got to the point where you know who you've annoyed most recently. So you sit there and you wander around and wait for someone new that might help you out.
And then I do the
That
old
move.
nobody likes me around here. I know I'm hated
yeah, you
here.
did pity party first.
Yeah.
Still didn't get up. Can
you tell me
I just kept working.
Can you tell me how to get to work day? And I've been here how long now? 30 years. How long have we had work day? 20? 10?
Probably
13, 14 years,
13,
yeah.
14, yeah.
How do you put in vacation hours?
Abbott does for me.
Yeah, see, he enabled.
No, here's what happened. At last one at home, I have this weird thing that happens on my home computer. Every time I try to go to work day, something from the Ohio State University pops up instead. How that got on my screen, I can't get rid of it. But the last time I just started punching buttons like this, angry, and all of a sudden it popped up. And I went,
Is that
"There's
right?"
Workday." And I was very careful, and I found it, and then I applied,
Yeah.
put in for my days off, and
Yeah.
it worked. So I thought it would happen here again. It couldn't. Then 10 to B told me put it in your favorites. I didn't know there was a favorites.
Yeah,
thing you could
favorite
do.
it.
Yeah, so once you,
can
click on
download-
it, it'll be right on the bar
Well,
up
you can
top.
put the app on your phone, too, and then you can just do it on your phone.
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah, the phone's
Oh, it's
easier.
easy for you to say.
Just do it on your mobile.
I don't know how.
Yeah. So I had to pee really bad, but you were out there, and so I just held it while he was helping you.
Maybe you should bring me over to your house and your dog will hold it, then just put me in the house. And then your dog will never want to go, I'm not going in the house
yeah,
here.
I'm not
gonna
doing
wait
it.
for him to leave.
I waited until 10. I got you all squared away, and then I got up.
Are you guys going to the holiday party tonight?
Yes.
What
Are you?
holiday?
Well, I had set plans. Our babysitter just had to bail on us.
No.
So I have to figure out maybe I'm just going solo now.
Solo?
Not bringing the wifey anymore, but we got to figure out kid coverage.
Yeah, it's always kid coverage, meat grinder.
Yeah.
I can't.
Why? What do you got?
Socks to sort.
Family stuff
Um,
with my boy, and we've already planned.
well, bring him
I
along.
don't think they want to go.
He
Deuce is kind of part of the radio station now.
likes to eat.
Yeah.
Likes to have
They
a
like
bevy.
tacos.
Hey, you guys should go.
I don't know where the place is.
It's where we did the. I'll tell you off the air. Yeah.
All we're doing, and we're also, okay. Well,
Maxo?
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll be the first person there. Yeah, I was already planning on
You're
it.
full of
yeah,
it.
no, I'm
Just go there.
I went to last year's holiday party, and I was one of the only
Same.
KFAN. It was you
I can-
and I.
I
we
can
were,
verify.
Were we the only two KFAN air staff
That's
that went
it.
there?
We repped for the whole station. So I think we should take this year off.
So,
I think
yeah, it'd
we
be
earned
nice
it.
if some of the others would show up.
Honestly,
We were
This is
there.
what I don't
earned it.
understand. You're okay. Common's one thing. Okay, you're part time. Someone says to you, "Free food and booze." How are you not there now? Like, what?
That's
What do
what I
you
said.
have to do?
I gotta check in with my assistant Jeeves, see what's on the planner.
Get
you know
serious.
What I'm saying?
Just go down there, have some fun, talk to the people,
I love
and
talking
have
to the
free
people.
food and
The
booze.
peeps.
This is how you live.
Well, why didn't they say
How
that?
do you
Why
think
didn't-
me
why
and
did
Tenna
they-
got through our 20s?
Why did
With
they
all
leave
the
with
free
the
stuff
free
they had
30s?
here. And 30s. With all of the free stuff we got from here. That's how we lived.
Well, I'll be there.
My
This is
whole,
America.
my whole entire wardrobe is just free
Yes.
sweatshirts and t-shirts.
Same.
He's wearing a common man preposterous attorney shirt. It's his go-to going out shirt.
Oh yeah.
Wear
The
what
ladies
you're
love it.
wearing. I just don't understand.
Max, we'll
party.
see you there today.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Can't wait to
You're
do a
not
hootie
gonna
hoo
be
with
there.
you.
I promise.
You're not going to be there. Just
I
about.
promise.
What if there's babes there?
There is gonna be babes there.
Babes.
We only have like half the place. The other part's going to be open.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, go there and pistol wink.
That's what me and Common did. All program password.
Audra, thanks so much. It's so much fun to have you in, and we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
We'll
you're-
be.
You add to the
It's
entertainment
fine.
value of the show so much. Max, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you sometime in the near future, Lil B. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Take a break, come back. Got more to get to. Common Man Program on the Fan. This sounds like Seals and Crofts. That's where AI stole this little ditty from. The Seals and Crofts kind of ditty. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. Couple 13-14 past. I'm common. East 10 to be. Apparently, we had some problem with the KFAN radio app. We apologize. It's all back now. We went from the crunch time in program password to Doug Gottlieb talking Notre Dame football. Sorry about that. For those of you,
Doug Gottlieb a college basketball coach, and he's still doing a full-time job on top of it? How does he have time to do this?
I have no idea, but I do know this. If you missed it, historic comeback by Max and I. We were down, what was that score? 65?
To 34, I believe.
And then we didn't lose another point.
The beauty of it is if you did miss it, you can always podcast it
that is correct.
On the iHeartRadio app, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also rewatch it on YouTube, on the KFAN YouTube channel.
Just got a text message to me from a Viking fan who said, "Hi, y'all. We just got tickets to the Vikings Monday game, $110 including fees. They look like they are almost exactly the same place mine are at the bank, lower level to boot, basically on the goal line. Skol, no moniker yet, guys, signed Pete." So tickets did go on sale. Did I hear this right? Because it was supposed to be in Los Angeles, and, and obviously the historic and tragic fires moved the location of the game. Rams fans had a 2-hour head start, right? Because they wanted to say, look, they were supposed to have home field advantage. And while I think we all realize home field is not a be-all, end-all. It certainly helps, but many teams have won on the road. The New York Football Giants, I still remember it back in 1990. Was it 97 when they handed New England their only loss of the year in the big game? They were 9-7 that year, and they went to they played every game on the road, starting with a game at Lambeau. You talk about tough places to play. They had to go to Lambeau, and that was that like 23 below wind chill game. So you can win on the road. It's not the end of the world or the end of the season. So I don't know how many Rams fans took advantage of that 2-hour window. I'll bet there'll be more Vikings fans than Rams fans. Don't you think? Or not?
I mean, I think it'll be close.
Okay. Fitty.
I mean, ultimately, like Rams season ticket holders that were planning to go to the game, I still think if they can make it, are still going to go. It's obviously closer in distance than it is to Minnesota.
That's true. Yeah, you can actually drive to Phoenix. Is Phoenix what?
Well, I saw their team president was tweeting about that they're lining up buses to take fans there.
Because it's like 222. It can't be more than 250 miles from Los Angeles to Phoenix. No way, right? Tennebee's looking it up for us. He's our Rand McNally.
356 miles.
Okay, 350. So I was wrong. 356.
But, almost a 6-hour drive.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's like Deuce coming from Lincoln. Speaking of Notre Dame football, did you watch any of last? My guess is no.
I did not. I watched the Wild game.
I watched. I was sports as your whole life, just sports last night. Here's what I did, Tenneby. I had the Notre Dame Penn State game on, and I was mildly rooting for Penn State. I have no dog in the fight, as they say, no horse in the race. I don't know. Why am I against her? I guess because Notre Dame got that big contract. There's so many people that love Notre Dame. They're sort of like the New York Yankees of baseball or of college football, or the Dallas Cowboys of college football, where everybody loves them. So they have their own network every single game. I think maybe, is it still to this day, they've got this lifelong contract where every game's on NBC? It used to be. I don't know. I don't pay as close attention to college football telecasts as I once did, but I didn't care about either result. I was watching that, and at the same time, our friend Frankie Cappan, Rosen can line me up with an interview anytime I want it. Frankie Sappin went to high school at Stillwater, lives in North Oaks, I believe, or did live in North Oaks. Went to school. It was in Alabama, playing college golf for a while, and then I think went to one of the Florida schools, Florida Coastal Carolina or something. He's the only male Minnesotan that has a tour card. He played in his first tour event since getting his card yesterday, first round. So when you go to the PGA.com app, Tenneby, see, he didn't get any TV time. It's just, it's all Matsuyama. It's all Thigala. The main guys, right? I understand that, right? But you punch in your guy. I'm just starting to discover the magic of apps, right? You go to PGA. So I go to Sony Open in Hawaii. Then I do PGAtour.com. All of a sudden, you click to the player you want, okay? So in my case, I went to, I wonder if he's teed off yet. He was late yesterday. See, he was even par for the day. Let's see if he's still up here. Where'd he go? Anyway, you click a name, I'll click somebody else. You click, here he is, Frankie Sappin. He's 1 under today, Tenneby, and 1 under for the tournament. They have this, it shows us, you click it on, then you view Tourcast. You can follow them shot by shot. They chart it all. See this chart here? They chart it all out. Yeah. So that'll tell you he's hit his first shot, what hole he's on, how long the hole is. You punch 1, and then it shows where his first shot goes. You wait for 2 to come up. You punch 2, and it shows where his... So you're actually watching him golf without watching him golf, if that makes sense. So I watched both Frankie Sappin shoot an even par 70 yesterday, and he's 1 under for the tournament today. The leaders, I think it was a 6-way tie for first yesterday at 6 under par. Anyway.
And right now, I know it's still early today, but the projected cut line is 2 under. He's at 1 under through 6.
Yeah. So... I think he's going to make the cut. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Anyway, last night's game was pretty entertaining. Sometimes there's a bit too much scoring for me. You know how I am about defense. But, there was, I don't know if it was sloppy play, and I wasn't paying real close attention in the first half, just glancing up every once in a while when an announcer guy got excited. But close game. And then in the second half, I don't know how many lead changes there were, but there had to be 3 or 4 lead changes. High drama. And then it came down to the very end, Tenneby, tie game at 24. Notre Dame punts to Penn State. And I'm thinking to myself, and I guess he made the right decision. I mean, you've got, I don't know, was it a minute to go or somewhere there? And they decided from their own 38 they were going to punt instead of try to get the first down on the 4th and like 2 or 3. Probably made the right decision. And then the kid from Penn State throws an interception. He scrambles out of the pocket. He's running. Throws across his body. Guy from Notre Dame makes a great interception, diving catch. And they kick the figgy a few plays later. They run a couple of plays, kick a figgy, and win the game at the buzzer. And the quarterback for Penn State, his name is Aller, A-L-L-A-R. And he said after the game, I was trying to throw the ball into the dirt. And it's like... And he even said, I probably should have just thrown it away when I saw no one's open. I don't really believe, I don't know why, and I guess it doesn't matter. It didn't look like he was trying to throw it. It looked like he was trying to make a play. And there was that was like the Favre throw against the Saints, right? Where you cross your body. You got no business making that throw. And it felt bad for the kid, too, because, I mean, both teams, Tenneby, they left it all out on the field. They spilled their guts out there. And it's never just one play, but that was huge, man. He decides to throw the ball, and it's like, dude, you got to just throw that away. Even take a sack at that point, because you're headed to overtime more than likely. But it was not to be. So Notre Dame gets to the national championship, and I guess I more of it was just to be a gadfly, because I really don't care if they do a national championship playoff system. They started with 4 teams a few years ago. They just expanded to 12. I think, was Notre Dame an 11 seed?
The 4 teams that were in the semis were 5, 6, 7, 8. So they had been one of those.
Maybe they were a 7, not an 11. I think maybe they were the 7 seed. I don't recall. But, and I talked about this last week. Maybe it was the week before.
They were the 7
seed. And look, I don't spend a lot of time watching college football unless it's the U of M Nebraska or The Ohio State University for the obvious reasons. But I stumbled across Notre Dame's only loss this year, and I talked about it. I think it was against, like, Northern Illinois. And Northern Illinois outplayed Notre Dame and won a close game. I think it was 16-14, something of that nature. It was game 2 of the season. And I remember saying out loud, because I talk to myself all the time, I go, well, there goes Notre Dame's chance to get into the 12-team tournament. Because you lose your second game of the season to a small school like that, I'm thinking, well, it's over, right? Well, they never lost another game, and now they're in the Natty. And they'll take on the winner of tonight's number 8 Ohio State versus number 5 Texas. Under normal circumstances, I would want both teams to lose. But I'm paying the Ohio State University a lot of money for baby brother Peter, so go Buckeyes. We'll break, come back. It's our, what we like to call our victory formation segment. That's next here on The Fan. Text messenger was absolutely correct. The last song you played going into the break, that did sound like a copy of Michael McDonald, formerly of the Doobie Brothers, also a member of the Dukes of September. You know, he did this, I keep forgetting I'm not in love anymore. That did sound like Michael McDonald. Text message says, see, Common, you just boxed yourself up, the college football playoff. If we went back to your suggestion, Oregon would be the national champ. And here is a number 7 seed about to play a number 9 seed for the championship after playing actual games. Box, box, box. I guess you could say so. I don't think you lose to Northern Illinois in the regular season, you shouldn't even be allowed into the tournament. I don't think Notre Dame should have been in it. I think the national champ should have been Oregon. We'd already be done with football season. We wouldn't have to worry about it anymore and focus on what really matters, and that's the National Football League. Vikings take on the Rams on this radio station Monday, coverage at 5. Be here for the Boom at 7:15. Game has been moved to Glendale because of the tragic fires in Pacific Palisades and all across Los Angeles.
And I just sent you a text about the Rams and Cardinals fans apparently had the first right to purchase tickets. They're season ticket holders for the first 2 hours, and they've all been purchased, which means the secondary market's going to be hot because Cardinals fans are just buying it so they can resell them to Vikings fans or other Rams fans.
Sure.
So,
yeah, 52K were sold in the 2-hour priority window. Yeah, general public sale now open, and there's probably a handful of those are snowbirds in Minnesota, right? That in Arizona went, hey, I'll go watch the game now. But you're right, most are probably wanting to resell them.
Yeah,
on the secondary market. The Vikings may have actually caught a break in that Kitties game where they lost 31-9, when we'd been waiting not all day, but all week for Sunday night with NFC North on the line, top seed, and first round bye where you get 2 weeks off. 2 weeks off. Let's say Tennessee, well, let me back up. Let me set it up this way. What do you think, and I think there were several reasons why the Vikings lost that game, but in your mind, what do you think the number one reason was?
Sam Darnold.
Correct.
His performance.
Yes, and I think most people would agree. Why do we think Sam Darnold had the performance he did? What would be your theory? There's a lot of them out there, including lights too bright, choke, not enough protection, a lot of different things. But what would you?
I think you do have to give some credit to Detroit and the scheme and the plan they had. They've got a defensive coordinator who's interviewing for a bunch of head coaching jobs right now. So he's done a good job this year.
Correct.
Especially given the circumstances of how many players he's lost, and they sent everything but the kitchen sink at Darnold every single play, and either he wasn't ready for it, the offensive line wasn't ready for it, combination. I'm not sure.
I think it's probably a combination, and I do think part of it probably was, could you, without knowing for sure, could it be a little bit of nerves, right? I mean, the guy's never been in a game this big, right? I mean, this is the biggest game of his professional, maybe in high school, maybe in Pop Warner, maybe in Howard Pulley, maybe college, but certainly never in a game with the stakes as high as they were. But maybe that was a good thing, Tenney, because looking at this from this angle, let's say Detroit had won one more game along the way. Let's say they'd beaten Tampa Bay early.
Yeah.
Or let's say they'd beaten Buffalo. Or let's say the Vikings lost one extra game along the way. They lost one of those games to the Bears, or they lost a game to the Packers. And that last game of the season would have meant nothing. My guess is Sam is winging it all over the field at that point, right? So with the stakes as high as they were, and let's say he did fold under the pressure, choke, whatever you want to say, or maybe just wasn't himself because he was too jacked up. Maybe he needed one of those Horn is reborn purple paper bags to hyperventilate in before the game, right? That we talked about at the beginning of the show. Well, now that game's out of his system, Tenney. You will hope. It might not be. But so if that game wouldn't have had the stakes it had, this would have been the game. And it's still an important game. Obviously, it's win or go home, as they like to say. Survive and advance, or win or go home. But this, now that he's had I let it get to me. I was jacked up. I hyperventilated. Now it's like, I'm getting a second chance. And that was now, is this game bigger? Yeah, because more is at stake. It's
win or go home.
It's win or go home. But
there's no tomorrow.
There's no tomorrow. Well, until next year. But do you see what the point I'm getting at? That maybe
if you're going to have that performance, you'd rather have it
so now
happen ahead of time.
You've experienced it once now, and now maybe
they can learn.
Yes, and maybe he can
get your mind right.
Because if you saw the quotes from him, he said the thing he learned is, I'm going to see the throw, and I'm going to make the throw. He's just going to wing it. And I think he was probably, you get in the situation he was last week, and as big as the game was, as much importance as that was on that game, you're trying to make the perfect throw, right? I mean, you're just trying to not make any mistakes, and you're trying to be perfect, and then he lets it fly, and he doesn't. And now he says he's gonna just let it rip. I think that's the way he said it. Let it rip. And I think that's what you got to do. You just got to, and not to be reckless, to go back to the B-flow thing. I'm not trying to suggest he should be reckless, but he should be aggressive without being reckless. Just let it go. If it gets picked, it gets picked. Yeah, if it bounces off the ground, it's not quite on target. But if he just plays like he played those other games, and easier said than done. That's why I think he will play better. That doesn't guarantee the Vikings are going to win, though I'm leaning Vikings again. I don't know why it is.
I'm leaning Vikings.
Because, and
I do think Darnold will respond.
And maybe an teensy bit is because it's not in L.A., but there's a big difference between SoFi and the litter box, right? I just say,
yes. By the way, even if it was L.A., it's not the most daunting road venue to have to attend.
Somebody just on the Rashawn Bryan KFAN text line said Darnold is being given a mulligan, and that kind of is it, right? Again, you'd rather not have to take a mulligan because you'd like to be resting right now and not having to play and knowing the road to the big game goes through Minneapolis, but it is like a mulligan. At least the one thing he had going for yourself was, as bad as the team overall played, especially Darnold, you're in postseason play. And maybe that experience will help in getting that out of the way. He'll be maybe a bit more loosey-goosey.
I also think, too, just from a team psychology standpoint, this team has been doubted from the get-go, right? I mean, they were predicted to win 6.5 games by Vegas beforehand. Even as they were winning, national experts are doubting the Vikings, and they're doubting specifically Sam Darnold, saying this isn't for real. And they finally got to the point where, oh my gosh, we're tied with Detroit. We got this game to win. Expectations. We now have expectations. Now it's back to maybe chip on the shoulder a little bit. And people think I can't play under the lights now, huh? They think because of that bad game that I'm just going to revert to being the old Sam Darnold. They think the Minnesota Vikings are just going to fold now.
And I think that's a trait a lot of athletes have.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't believe in me anymore. You're doubting me. Because how many love to just say at the end? We hear it all the time. Nobody outside this locker room believed in us. You doubted us. You doubted us. You doubted us. We hear it all the time.
Oh, a whole lot of character. I just want to say, you doubted us, but now we're here.
That's A.J. Przinsky, and I did doubt them that year.
That'll be Sam Darnold on Tuesday
Yep.
on the montage.
Even Kirk, you like that?
Yeah.
You like that? Remember, because he was doubted. That was after a game in Washington,
Yes.
right? Did they? It was just because he never won a playoff game in Washington.
No, I think it was a regular season game.
season
They came back.
Yeah, but was it come
They
back?
were down by a lot of points.
And then they were doubting him, and he said, "You like that?" Well, they did. So, I do like their chances. And we poked fun today. I love the new bit where Lavelle and Suhan, basically accused me of when I would criticize the poll ads. I didn't about not spending money. That I couldn't really believe that. I just was trying to play to my audience because that's what they wanted to hear. But much of and I said Suhan did the same thing in his column that appeared yesterday. But much of what he said, I do tend to agree with, though. I mean, though I think Hurts being out on concussion protocol and back after a couple weeks, I don't think that means, boy, he's going to really be off. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to struggle that much because, boy, I kind of forgot how to throw a football. But there still is that piece of it. And then, the Rams are good, but they're not world beaters, and nor are any of the other teams in the playoffs. But, all those teams, I tell you what, do I think it's like throw the names of all 7 teams in a hat and pull them out and that could be your team? Probably not. I do think Green Bay without Watson is going to have some trouble. Philadelphia's a tough place to play, but I don't think there's any team.
Jalen Hurts did clear concussion protocol today, by the way. So
I figured he would. So I do think we said this before postseason play started, and as it's about to begin, I do believe the NFC is wide open. I wouldn't, much like this. We just talked about the college football. We got a 7 seed is going to play either the 5 or the 8, right? That ain't the 1 and the 2. So anything can happen. This text message.
I was going to say, I just saw a tweet from Adam Schefter. He says the Cardinals are sending 2 of the team's 777 planes to Los Angeles this afternoon, picking up the Rams team, its staff, their families, 6 dogs and 2 cats. Yes, 6 dogs and 2 cats per an official, and bringing them to Arizona tonight. Cardinals are turning over their training facility for the evacuated Rams to use in advance of their Monday night game versus the Vikings at State Farm Stadium.
What if those dogs are puppies and they have to go to the bathroom? Little B's got that issue going on right now. Here's a couple of questions, Tennessee. This one says, comment, after watching hundreds of Vikings and Lions game, who would you take as your quarterback? Jared Goff or Sam Darnold? I'd take Goff.
Yeah.
Just the experience.
Sure.
The experience. He's
got more equity.
And he's playing with, here's a guy. I mean, think about this, Tennessee. A guy who drafted number 1 overall by his home state team, gets him to the big game. They didn't play very well. They lose to, and I think it was probably one of the lowest scoring big games of all time. If not, wasn't it 13-3 the final score? They lost to New England. Then they give up on him, kicked to the curb, traded for Matt Stafford. We talked about the story I read in The Athletic where when the Lions were like 3-12 or whatever it was. The year before, they went 8-9 and almost, or 9-8 and almost made postseason play. When they handed Green Bay a loss in the final game of the season, a Sunday night game, Aaron Rodgers' final game as a Packer. It was the season before when Goff was called into the office by Campbell, and he thought he was going to get cut. And it was just the opposite. It was Campbell saying, "You're my guy," right? So to go from there to where he is now, he seems like he's supremely confident to me. He's not afraid to throw the ball. That doesn't mean he's going to win the game or anything, and that they're going to get to the big game. But I don't think there's no bright lights with him. And oh boy, what am I going to do now? He's been there before.
Jared Goff, I think, is probably has something that Sam Darnold's going to be going through here, in that he's still not getting the respect nationally he deserves, just based off of, because people look at the way he was played in Los Angeles, and he was traded for, him and multiple first-round picks traded for another quarterback. But the way he's played, like over the last 2.5 years, is he not a top 5 quarterback in the league? Top 5, top 6? No one thinks of him in that regard. I would take him over Stafford right now.
Yeah, you could make that.
But I bet most people don't think about that.
Well, go back to that Lions game. There were 2 or 3 times, you and I discussed this, where he was being blitzed and he got rid of the ball at the absolute last second through a dime in each one of those places. That's the guy
he's processing.
Yes, he's
quickly.
And he's tough. He can take a hit. He took several hits in that Vikings game.
But I think most people don't view him as a top 6, top 7, top 8 quarterback. And the way he's played the last 2 years, he is.
I agree with that. Here's another one. This one says, who would you trust more in this game, Darnold or Cuzbuzz? I don't know if they'd be in the same position if they had Cuzbuzz, but let's just say they were. I think I'd trust Darnold.
Is this pre-Achilles or post-Achilles for Cousins?
That's a good point too. He didn't say that. Yeah. I think I'd take Darnold.
Well, if you just go off of this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to where they are right now, I mean, Cousins struggled. Here's one that says, it sounds like Jim Suhan and LaBelle have kicked Ant out of your head and live rent-free there. No. I have an entire apartment complex. I have all sorts of people taking up space in my head. They're really not taking up space. I just find it funny. So I'm never gonna let anybody forget it because I just think it's hilarious. It's just
when they say you're playing your fan, and we call that projection.
Yeah, projection. And I just find it so ludicrous and preposterous, and I just find it funny. It's just funny to me that, well, then couldn't the same be said about you? Oh no, not us. We only tell what we really believe, and I lie for a living, but I'm honest about it. But no, I just think it's funny.
I just saw the Vikings tweet, by the way. Tickets for Monday night's wildcard game in Arizona now available to the general public. So Vikings fans, jump in.
Jump on in. And
we need some skull chants in Glendale.
Ben, sales cubicles back in the back with the young kids. He's flying out there with his buddies without tickets.
Really?
Yeah, they're just going to get
They're going to wing it.
Yeah, they're going to wing it when they get there. And they'll find them. Now, how expensive, like you say, my guess, I think you're spot on. 98% of the people that bought tickets in Arizona today are going to sell them on the...
They're marking them up.
They're marking them up. And then there's the 2% that are snoopers. Like, let's say you were retired and lived there and you're Viking. Go, hey.
Sure.
They're just down the street.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'll go see the game.
Yeah.
So some people will do it.
Or you just be an NFL fan. You don't have to be a Vikings fan. Hey, there's an playoff game here. Let's go watch.
That is correct. So there'll be some people that will...
You can be a Cardinals fan and just say, our team never plays in this thing, so we might as well watch someone else play here.
Hold on again. They made one big game. They played. I was on a golf vacation in Las Vegas. Actually, I was in Laughlin, Nevada. Went to Laughlin to play golf. I wouldn't recommend it. Sorry. We have time to. We don't make our official predictions again. Tennessee till Monday. And I know there are people that are they can't rest until they find out who you and I think are going to win the game. I mean, that's how important our opinions are. But if the game was to kick off here at 3:00, would you pick the Rams or the Vikings?
I'm picking the Vikings.
I think I am too.
I was picking the Vikings before the move from LA to Glendale, and I think that might help a tad.
I did read a piece today, and I don't think it was one of the fish wraps. I think it was somewhere. It might have been Athletic. I think it was an Athletic
What's
piece.
The Athletic?
You don't know?
No.
Oh, it's a website. I'm more tech savvy than you. You probably don't even know what a website is, but it's called The Athletic. It's an app, and it's sports writers from all over the country covering all the major sports, taking deep dives and such like that. And it's Krasinski and would be
Alec Lewis.
Yeah, I think it's Alec. Yes. Yeah. So it's Alec Lewis and Krasinski giving their opinions. They do this every week on what they think is going to happen in the game. And one of them had the notes. I didn't realize Los Angeles puts as much pressure on a quarterback as any defensive unit in pro football, the way it looked to me if I read those numbers right. And they did in our first meeting. Yes. And so that's the one thing that leaves me a bit uncomfortable in picking the Vikings, that if they're able, because our offensive line, let's face it, if you believe in the Pro Football Focus numbers or just the eye test, our left side of the line got beat up pretty bad by Detroit, left side of the offensive line. And so and there's some youth on that line with the Rams, and if they're able to duplicate for the most part what Detroit did, I think they're going to give Darnold some trouble. Now, even with the pressure Detroit put on, Darnold still had time to throw on a number of occasions. We all know about the overthrown passes that we went over and over and over and over again. So, but I think this time, if Sam gets some time, I think he's going to be okay. But Stafford's crafty. Are both Koopy Kupp and Puka Kanua playing?
Yes.
They're in.
I mean, they rested.
Right.
So they've had 2 weeks off.
And who's their tight end?
Who is their
Do they have a third wideout that's pretty good?
It used to be Higbee. I don't know if Higbee's back. I thought he was hurt at the beginning of the year. Demarcus Robinson gets a little bit in the mix for them.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams is a quality running back.
Right.
He can catch the ball out of the backfield, too.
Should be a hell of a game.
Yeah, they've basically been two different teams this year because they were hurt badly at the beginning of the season. And that's why they got off to that bad start, because they had Puka out and Cooper Kupp out. And once they got those two back against the Vikings, they've come on pretty strong here, second half of the season.
Fired that Genie's lamp, rubbed it, Genie popped out. And I remember now, I can't ask for 3 more wishes like I thought. And I wouldn't wish for that game to be at 3 o'clock, Vikings-Rams. I'd wish it to be replacing the Houston Chargers game. That's soon enough. That game's tomorrow afternoon. I'll watch some playoff football this weekend. Teneby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you today. We appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your time with us. We're back on Monday at 1 o'clock, but 12 noon. Sorry, not 1 o'clock, 12 noon. Stick around. Big Ticket and JG. They're next right here on The Fan.
Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.